A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a historic and unprecedented move, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has formally requested a pardon from President Isaac Herzog as he navigates a long-running corruption trial that has deeply divided the nation. Netanyahu, the first sitting prime minister in Israeli history to stand trial, faces serious allegations including bribery, fraud, and breach of trust, stemming from accusations that he accepted expensive gifts and granted regulatory favors to media owners in exchange for favorable coverage. The trial, which commenced in 2020, has seen Netanyahu consistently deny the charges, pleading not guilty to all counts. His legal troubles began in 2019 when he was indicted, and since then, the case has become a focal point of political discourse in Israel. Netanyahu's official request for a pardon was confirmed by Herzog's office, which characterized it as an extraordinary request with significant implications for the Israeli political landscape. The president's office stated that Herzog would responsibly and sincerely consider the request after consulting with relevant authorities, including the Justice Ministry. This development comes on the heels of a letter from former U.S. President Donald Trump, urging Herzog to consider pardoning Netanyahu, whom he described as a formidable and decisive wartime prime minister. Trump's intervention adds a layer of complexity to the situation, as it intertwines U.S. diplomatic relations with Israeli internal politics. In a video statement, Netanyahu argued that the ongoing trial and the requirement to appear in court 3 times a week are distractions that hinder his ability to govern effectively. He emphasized that a pardon could help restore national unity, suggesting that the trial has not only affected him personally, but has also created a rift within Israeli society. Netanyahu's defense team has submitted a comprehensive request consisting of 2 documents, a detailed letter from his lawyer, Amit Haddad, and a personal letter from Netanyahu himself. These documents argue that a pardon could be issued even before a conviction, citing the ongoing trial as an impediment to his duties as prime minister, particularly in matters of national security and diplomacy. The allegations against Netanyahu are serious and multifaceted. Prosecutors claim he granted regulatory favors worth around £430 million to Bezek Telecom Israel in exchange for favorable media coverage on a news site controlled by the company's former chairman. Additionally, he faces charges related to accepting gifts valued at nearly £170,000 from influential figures, including Hollywood producer Arnon Milchan and Australian billionaire James Packer, in return for personal favors. Netanyahu maintains that these gifts were merely tokens of friendship and insists that he acted appropriately. The political ramifications of Netanyahu's pardon request are profound. Critics argue that granting a pardon to someone who has not yet been convicted could set a dangerous precedent, undermining the integrity of the judicial system. They contend that accountability must be upheld, regardless of an individual's position or power. Conversely, supporters of Netanyahu argue that the charges against him are politically motivated, suggesting that the investigation has been marred by irregularities, including alleged pressure on witnesses. They argue that the prime minister's long record of service should be taken into account, and that the ongoing trial is a distraction from more pressing national issues. As President Herzog deliberates on Netanyahu's request, he faces immense pressure from various factions. He must balance the expectations of the Israeli public, the legal implications of granting a pardon, and the influence of international allies, particularly the United States. Trump's vocal support for Netanyahu complicates matters further, as Herzog's decision could be perceived as aligning with or against U.S. interests in the region. The timing of this request is also critical, with general elections on the horizon, raising questions about how quickly Herzog will arrive at a conclusion. In summary, Netanyahu's request for a pardon amid a corruption trial presents a complex and challenging situation for Israeli politics. As Herzog considers the implications of this extraordinary request, the outcome could have far-reaching effects on the political landscape in Israel, the rule of law, and the relationship between Israel and its allies, particularly the United States. The nation watches closely as this unprecedented chapter in Israeli history unfolds. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.